My name is Devin Jones. That's at Hippie Activist on Twitter. For those of you who would like to follow me on Twitter, Hippie with a Y, Activist. And I'd like to talk for a brief moment on the media in this recent propaganda spin called fake news. Hashtag fake news. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as fake news. What is news? Well, news is information, right? It's the latest information about current affairs, happenings. Well, okay. Fake news is basically like Sheriff Clark. What did Sheriff Clark call fake news? Well, Sheriff Clark mentioned CNN, MSNBC, Huffington Post, New York Times, The Washington Post. He named a list of what he referred to as fake news, not leaving us with too much real news at all, unless you like Fox News. That's never mind. But at any rate, so Sheriff Clark is on the far ideological right. So what he calls fake news is what the ideological right thinks is the ideological left. I would barely call CNN the ideological left, but go ahead. And what did Hillary Clinton refer to fake news? Well, she wasn't quite as specific, but she definitely inferred that news spread via social media is fake news. Well, that's because she is an establishment candidate. She is unhappy with the smaller networks, the individuals that do not support her as much as establishment networks do. She did not get as much support from individuals, from smaller, like the Young Turks, for example, with Cenk Uygur. She didn't get as much support from them. She doesn't like that. So therefore, she's going to attack those networks because she felt as though they attacked her. Well, okay, fine. But Hillary Clinton is an establishment candidate, and she's not a progressive either. Otherwise, she would have called fake news Fox News or something of that sort. Or Breitbart News. There you go. If you're going to use the idiot term fake news, well, then use it for Breitbart or whatever. But she definitely would not be a fan of the Young Turks, and definitely inferred social media was fake news. But that kind of brings me to my second point about this whole fake news propaganda spin, is it doesn't exist. News, like I said, being information. News is information about current affairs. In the 21st century, the cost of information is your effort digging through falsehood to find it, and that's it. Information is free. I've said this 100 times. I've said it on Twitter 100 times. I just read word for word one of my tweets. I liked it, so I quoted it. But there's no such thing as fake news because news is information about current affairs. So there's no such thing as fake information. Information is either true or it's inherently false. Is the information true or false? Is it verifiable? Is it sourced information? What is the source? Is it a good source? Where did they get their information from? Did they observe this? Information. How do we approach information? And I could go on a 2-hour-long rant easily right now about skepticism, but I will leave it at saying that it brings out the importance of being a skeptic, that your brain needs to act as a filter when you take in information. The filter might not be a very strong one sometimes, but darn it, try. You need to filter information as it comes to you. Don't expect CNN to filter the information before it gets to you, because just because it's an established network doesn't mean everything that they say is true. Okay, so yes, idiot Clark, yes, CNN lies sometimes. Of course they do. Well, you're on the ideological right, so what do you call a lie? A lie is also missing information. For the Dakota Access Pipeline protests to be going on as long as they were, with as serious of consequences that just continued rampant for as long as they did, and the severity of the police brutality that went on for that long, for CNN to keep quiet. Fox News went like this. Why? Well, go to Energy Transfer. Go to their website. They are the economic powerhouse, by the way, behind the pipeline, and what the natives in North Dakota referred to as the black snake, which I liked. They have vested interest in media, and they don't mind admitting this. Go to their website. Scroll to the very bottom of the page, Energy Transfer, I believe it's energytransfer.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page. There you will find that one of the things listed that they are vested in is media. Well, of course, Fox News isn't going to say horse about this black snake because it's a pocket. So what do you call fake news? How many times have you turned on the television to see a story in sheer idiocy about a woman collecting stray cats? And you see these stories over and over and over again, little feel-good stories and pieces, which are fine every once in a while. I've seen the Young Turks do that every once in a while, but it's every once in a while. And when they're covering news, it's relevant news. It's whatever the most important thing happening that you should know about as a citizen is what they're covering. So kudos to the Young Turks and Cenk Uygur, etc. Anna Kasparian and them. Very good network. But at any rate, I'm going to leave it at that. News is information. There's no such thing as fake information. Is it true or is it false? Is it correct or incorrect? It's not fake. Out.